Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going over some of the recent spoilers in the past week, mainly the heroes with a couple choice key cards, kind of give our general thoughts about them and just overall how spoiler season has gone so far. So yeah, we'll get right into it. One little thing, I'm getting over the flu, so if I cough off to the side every now and then, I'm trying to fight through it because I think this cough is just going to linger and I don't want to just not put out videos. So please bear with me on that. But if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-standing supporter, thank you so much as always. Feel free to check out the Patreon and the Discord down below. So we'll bring up the window here. We've had a lot of spoilers, and spoiler season technically doesn't even fully start until January. So, we've gotten a lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool hero reveals. We only have one hero left to be revealed. I'm mainly going to be talking about the heroes, and then I'll kind of talk about a few choice cards. This isn't going to be like a card-by-card breakdown or anything like that, but I wanted to give my general thoughts because I wanted to, discuss it with you all as a community and see what your thoughts are. But getting right into it, we'll go into the most contested one, the one that was revealed yesterday by Arsenal Pass. Definitely go check out the reveal video. They had a really funny kind of like Wolf of Wall Street reference with the beat chess mechanic. It was really, really awesome to see that. But some people are upset with Reinar and the fact that it's been reprinted. Some people aren't upset. Some people are glad that the heroes gain more direct support. I have like good and bad feelings about it. I'm not really like in one camp or another. I can see the positive and the negatives to it, right? The positives are hopefully Reinar in this set will get more like, differentiating play style or just be able to help make him a little bit more consistent and a little bit more dynamic to play with. So I am excited to see about that. I am glad that they kind of have this like no hero left behind mentality, because a lot of people want to see new heroes, but like there's also a ton of people that just love Reinar, right? And they want to see Reinar just get better, right? They don't want to see him just fade off into existence because they release 2 to 3 new brute heroes, and it's just kind of like how it is. So I do see that. I also see the negatives of it, right? Like people don't want to see a reprint of a hero this early. We are going into year 5, so for us to be reprinting, in this set technically you see one true reprint that's like carbon copy the same, which is Reinar. Then you have KO, which is completely different than the original KO, but it's still a hero we already know. Then you have Kasai, which is also a hero we already know, right? And we could potentially get Valda, who knows, maybe not. But some people are happy with that, some people aren't. Overall, like, there's goods and bads to both sides, right? I love playing Reinar, so I want to see Reinar get more support. So I'm okay with this. And overall, I think people just need to kind of take it for what it is. We're getting, 6 heroes in this set. It's going to be hopefully a fun draft experience. And hopefully Reinar gets some, like, cool new cards. I mean, he got some stuff like Show No Mercy, which is basically like a mini Alpha Rampage, but it's a little bit easier on cost curve of Blood Rush turns. I really like cards like this. This card's going to make Blood Rush Bellow turns a little bit more dangerous when the person you're playing against is at like, 10, 11 life and you Blood Rush. Like if you think about it, if you Blood Rush and you go Claw, Show No Mercy, when they're at like 10 life, they don't want to just take both claws because, they can't go that low and then risk getting intimidated and not being able to block fully. So they're probably going to block with hopefully 2 out of 3 of their remaining cards after you play Blood Rush Bellow, trying to save some life, right? Maybe go like up to 7 or 8 or 9, and then you play this for 11, because +3 from its ability of them not having anything in their hand, and then +2 from the Blood Rush Bellow. So it comes in for 11. So it has a couple cool play lines with it. It's like Alpha Rampage with a less cost curve. You don't get that like turn 1 play that you do with Alpha Rampage off Barragining, but you do get that. The one thing I do wish they would have done is made a different young hero art. Just taking the hero art from the Dory Reinar Battle Box is a little bit feels bad, but at the same time, like we got direct straight art reprints and Outsiders, so and no one seemed to care about that. That is the funny thing I will say, is that people were really upset, air quotes, excuse me, upset about the reprints in this set, but in Outsiders, no one seemed to care at all. We got, 3 or 4 reprints in that set. So overall, I think people just need to give it time and see the whole set. When it comes to KO is really cool. I think I'm two things. I'm excited to see what the rest of the set brings. The beat chess mechanic hopefully brings some cool stuff for him to be able to intimidate stuff away and close games out, because my initial thoughts on KO without seeing this set, right, which is just thoughts, right, is that he's a little bit prone to fatigue. You really have to high roll. I played a couple games on Talishar just for fun, and he does do some fun things with like Wild Ride and Pulping, being able to play like, really efficient turns because his 5s are looked at as 6s. But there's a lot of times where if you're playing an opponent with all 3 blocks in their deck or a 3-block oriented deck, they're just going to fatigue you out. You have to really set up, and hopefully he finds a way to like rip cards from players' hands or finds ways to get over the top, because overall it's going to be really interesting to see how he gets around the fatigue issue, right? Cards like Raid or Rawhide Rumble are really cool. It has a beat chess mechanic in it, which means you can target, banish, or target discard a 6, which in Rhinar is an Intimidate. Hopefully in KO there's like cards like this where it says if you've beaten Justice turn, intimidate him. Just good ways to close out the game, especially like maybe off a Blood Rush turn. And then kind of going through here, talking about Betsy. Betsy for me is really interesting. I said this in the Give and Take podcast, which you should go on DM Armand's channel and check that out. We're going to start doing those like every other week. I truly think Betsy could be better than Bravo. She has a lot of cool things I'm thinking about her. One, her overpower mechanic is really interesting. It gets around stuff like Warmongers. It doesn't require as much setup, in my opinion. It's whenever attack you control wagers, you can pay 2, it gets +1 overpower, right? So that can be really useful with a lot of stuff. One thing I've also noticed about her is that she seems like a hero that if you don't interact with her, she's just going to snowball really, really hard, because some of her wager cards make vigor tokens. Like Bet Big, her specialization says when this attacks a hero, you may wager a gold, might, and vigor token with them. So if they let this hit, which technically doesn't have an on hit other than making the tokens, so basically the on hit is her next attack next turn gets +1, costs 1 less, and she makes a gold. And that's if it hits. It's not crush, right? So no one's going to want to block this. And if they don't block it, then that means you can play a CNC off of Tunic for 7 next turn, right? Or you can play any 4-cost red attack, Guardian attack off of a blue. So she's going to be able to be like hyper efficient if you let her attacks hit, because her vigor tokens can stack, or she just gets vigor token every turn. And then all of a sudden, she's playing Choke Slam for 3 or CNC off of Tunic, or she's playing these 4-cost Guardian cards for 3, and she can get really, really efficient really fast. Also, Pummel might work in there a lot easier with cost curve, because you hear like really good players like Michael Hamilton and Michael Fang talk about like just Bravo has good math. Like every 3 turns, right, you can play essentially a 2-card 8, right, with an on hit. You'll be able to do that with her almost every turn if your opponent doesn't interact with you. So really interested to see how she goes. I think she could be a lot more tempo based than Bravo. She probably doesn't have as much swingy, like crazy plays like Starstruck and Crippling, but using stuff like Spinal, Choke Slam, Cranial Crush, Bet Big, all these cool cards. I think she's going to be a really interesting hero to see, and I don't think she's just a watered-down Bravo like some people are saying. And then we have Kasai. Kasai we kind of talked about a little bit before, but this hero, I'm waiting to see what the set brings for her, because right now it just seems like she which is fine, she plays like old like Blitz Kasai, like weapon focused. Like I have been messing around with her on Talishar a good amount, and even with the cards we have available, she'd be a good playable warrior. She can run Outland Skirmish and Blood on Her Hands package with Spoils War in order to have good Blood on Her Hand turns. Making Gold doesn't do a ton right now other than the cash-in plays, which is still really good. And Nourishing Emptiness in her is really good, because once you play a Nourishing Emptiness for 6 Dominate, you use her ability, clear the Nourishing Emptiness out of graveyard, put it in Banish, and then you can play another Nourishing for 6 Dominate. So she has a lot of abilities to be able to play a really heavy mid-range game and then have these pop-off turns with stuff like Blood on Her Hands. But she's going to probably get even better as the whole set is revealed, right? And then Olympia is the biggest, out of everything, Olympia is the biggest question mark, because his ability is so simple. The first time each of your attacks wins a wager, create a gold token. Like, it's just we need to see the set with him, like, because we need to see what gold payoff does. Cash in is a great gold payoff, but is there going to be other gold payoffs? Is there going to be other reason to run to get gold in Warrior? Because it seems like he's going to care about that, right? So whether it's with his equipment or with his weapons or whatever the case may be, he does seem like a blue focused deck. Cards like Up the Ante really kind of show that, if I can find it here. But cards like Up the Ante are really, really important for him. And I think he's going to be a blue based deck. He might even be a Decimera based deck, depending on how things go. But he's definitely the most like wait and see hero out of all of them, because we need to see, like I said, what gold payoff happens, because without knowing what the gold payoff is, it's kind of Up the Ante isn't in here, which is so weird. Without the gold payoff, it's kind of hard to tell what he's going to be. But overall, oh, there it is, Up the Ante, because so it's a blue base. Also for Warrior attack reactions, I'm really liking. There's a couple in here that just say target attack. It doesn't say target Warrior attack, right? Like so, Up the Ante, for example, you could play Snatch. If I'm just giving a random attack, you could play Snatch and then Up the Ante it, because it says target attack wagers an agility token when defending here. So you could play a Snatch. You know, they say, okay, you have no go again because you're running Mini Valiant Dynamo, and then you pay 3 into it, make it 7, or they block it for 4, pay 3 into it, make it 7. You get an agility, a vigor, and a gold, you know, and stuff like that. So really cool to see Warrior being able to affect other cards that aren't Warrior cards. But overall, that's my initial thoughts on the set. Right, we haven't even seen like an inkling of it, but we have seen the heroes. I think people need to be patient. For people that didn't like the Reinhardt reprint, like, what would you have rather had? If you'd rather have a completely different brute, then that's fine. That's just an opinion. I definitely would wait and see on the set, though, because I think there's going to be some cool new stuff in this. I will say, the one thing I will give people is lore-wise, it does not make sense for Reinhardt to be in the deathmatch, in my opinion. The original lore, like, he wasn't really capable of reason. He just wants to kill. And so for him to seek out outside of the Savage Lands to find something to kill, that makes sense. For him to stop at the death match and like basically play by the rules of like waiting for the death match arena time to start to then kill, that doesn't make as much sense to me. But I mean, it depends on how much they really care about making lore exactly accurate. But overall, super excited about the set. Excited to see the spoilers next month. I think we're done with spoilers until the official spoiler season. Shout out to all the creators. Definitely go to February. Look at the spoiler schedule. Look at all the creators that have had a hand in this. We've had some really cool cards. Also, really excited to see the cards that are in the expansion slot, right? Like, Azalea got a really good card in Judge, Jury, Executioner. I think this card is going to be super nice off of like Memorial Grounds. Obviously, Arachne got some really good cards. New Luminaris is a really big deal. Reelin is really nice. So, really solid expansion slot cards. Excuse me. So, really excited to see. I think there's like 1 or 2 more, it looks like, as well. So, really cool to see that. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Positive, negative, it's fine. Safe space to talk about it. I just say, like, you know, try to be a little patient and see what the rest of the set brings before you cast judgment too much. But the set might not be for everybody. It's totally fine. Hopefully y'all have a good rest of your week. I'll try to get videos out. Did a decent job at suppressing the cough in this video, but sorry about the videos. They'll start back up in the new year. Just been kind of relaxing on vacation as well. But hopefully you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you all next time on TCG Talk.